if you watch the whole heap of myths them we surround the whole castor oil process, you know, boil most days. Cause one them say if you have sex last night, you can't boil today. So that means me wouldn't be able to produce that the next day.
So these are just seeds.
Just seeds.
Just castor bean seeds. People, as me say all the while, now, when you see people sell them things, don't ball down them price.
I would have poured off most of the oil already. Very thin.
Oh, because it's hot.
So the finished product?
This is the finished product now?
Yeah, real, authentic Jamaican black castor.
So I'm heading to a place on the top of Manchester called Cumberland. And today's journey take us through the process of making Black Jamaican Castor Oil. So these are just beans, all castor beans. And this is what we're going to use to make castor oil. So we're up in the hills of Cumberland on top of Manchester bordering Clarendon. It's about 2.5, 3 hours drive from Negril and about 30 minutes from Mandeville. We up on top of the hill and today we are here with Miss Esther Dunkley. And Esther is going to walk us through the process and steps of making Black Jamaican Castor Oil. This has been on my bucket list for a very long time and we finally get to see the full experience. I hope you guys enjoy. Please remember to like and share the video them and please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel if you're new. Welcome. If you are returning, welcome back and bless up yourself and thanks for the support. We're going to make some castor oil now. We soon forward.
Alright, so first thing, you're going to wash your beans. So the farmers come in with the beans. I only like beans that are picked. Sometimes when you can't do better, you have to buy the ones in the shell. But that is not the plan at all, because if you buy 30 pounds that way, sometimes when you come, you're going to get about 10 pounds, depending on rice. So we always try to see if we can get to our farmers to meet the standard where we're at. All right, so after the farmers comes in, we wash as what we put in our bags. So we wash them and we tend to hang them to drain the excess water. And then after we drain the excess water, we put them out on the zinc. So in terms of the zinc now, that helps to drain off the excess water that you don't want in your pot when you're in the roasting process, right? Then after that, you're going to be roasting your beans. And as we say, depending on what the customers want. So this is when you're going to roast. After the roasting, you go straight into your grinding, right? Sometimes when the beans are hot, the mortar takes it better in terms of the grinding process, right? So we tend to see if we can go into the grinding phase right away. After the grinding, and how you know when it is ready, as I said, it more should look like a toothpaste, a paste looking. That's when the oil comes up before you transfer from the mortar to your pot. So to your pot now, where the extraction takes place, you boil for 3 hours, depending on how your firewood and all the other variables and everything. to ensure that you get the amount of oil that you want from it. So you will not get the yield if you don't boil it properly. So you have some people who are going into it and they will call and say, I put on 20 pounds and I only get one flask, when you should get a gallon, right? So if you're not boiling properly, if you don't have your heat and in terms of the time, so time and temperature and all the works into it, you will not get the desired amount. That is the boiling process. After the boiling process now, when this oil comes up on top, some people do it differently. Some people skim with a whole heap of water in it. I tend to wait until I boil down, where you just have the dough, the mixture, the seeds, what that's left, the grinded seeds at the bottom, and the oil on the top. You can even leave it overnight. Less work for you in the morning, and you still get your fresh nice oil. Cover it up properly and so on, right? Because in the morning, the oil, after you boil say 3 hours and you turn off and everything, the oil comes right up on top. So you don't have a lot of skimming to do. So what Granny used to do, they stop at a point and then them skim, and a lot of water is going on in that. So I boil right down to the oil, pour off that first oil, and then I pour cold water to break up the particles, break it up. And that's when I do a little bit of skimming.
Okay.
Right, after I pour the cold water. So after this process, and you pour off your first set of oil, your 3 gallons, to catch the little 2 flask or so that is left. You pour your cold water, break up your particles, sit, and you just skim that, and you put it into another pot.
Like a different pot from the
A
first
different pot from the first pot.
Okay.
Not the roasting pot, not the boiling pot, a whole new pot. And in that pot now, you're going to clarify. So you're taking out any form of water that is in the oil. Because castor oil can serve up to 20 years or more if you do it properly. Right, if it's done properly.
And clarify is another heat process.
It's another boiling.
Boiling process.
Right, so you put it on back, and then now that's when you wait until all the water vapor, everything is gone. And you run your test. Granny used to do a spoon test. So when she dip her spoon in it, when we reach that process, we'll show you. She dip her spoon, and you can still see the water with it. So Granny say, you can see the water, right? So Granny say, it's not ready yet, because this would have water.
Yes.
So she just say, all right, that not ready yet. That not ready yet. We're going to go and come again, right? But no, we don't really have to do that. As I say, you can do your own checks to see if your oil is ready. So after I clarify now, you ensure it is cool properly. Now, castor oil is something where you can't cool under rush.
No.
Your oil will come out thin. All sorts of something will happen. Some people turn on fan on it. So them cool it and all. You have to just leave it and make it cool by itself, and that's when you will see the thickness. So when you pour off, this one just look like water. But after the cooling process now, when you strain, and that's when your bottle ready for the market. All right, so this is our original Dutchie. We get this from Pot Oil too. They're in Maypen, Clarendon. Yes, and this is the roasting process. To tell you the truth, for many years, when it comes on to castor oil, I always try to educate. I go to seminars, all sorts of different trainings and so on. I'm not afraid to say I didn't know that or I don't know.
Right.
So for many years, we always say the roasting gives it the color. So the darker the roast and the lighter the roast and all of that. But so maybe about 3 months ago, I went to a training, and I've learned now that it's not the roasting per se that is giving it the color, but there's the fatty acid content in the oil itself that changes and gives the oil the color. So if we should say we're going to put on a clear oil where the bean no roast nor nothing on the fire, that oil is going to change color to light honey, dark honey, or even to black as your shoes, right? So I've learned that it's hard to embrace, But me see it with my eye, me see the experiment with the eye, me put on the oil without roasting it. And the seeds, the grinded seeds without roasting it. And me really pick up say it changes the color for true. So they're saying it's just the nature of castor oil.
Is one thing me know that you cannot go a country and not go back with food. Yeah man, there's always yam or banana or something to go down with.
That's impossible.
So when the oil go on boil, we are going to go to yam over there so. Yeah, man.
So this is another reason why we have to get away money's worth. The beating part of the thing. This is rough because you have to beat it until the oil comes up. So you have to get all of these beans here. Fine, fine, fine. Mash out. If you, if you can get it so the toothpaste look, the better for you in the boiling process. So the oil will release way, way easier in the boiling process. If it come out more like a paste than a dough.
Okay, you have to be very strategic.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
can't ram it
You
down.
can, or else if you do that today, your whole day.
That's why all a man do it in a time, know how to take time and put it down in it.
Same so.
Yes. Have you ever considered going into the farming of the beans?
I tried it.
You did?
Oh God. It is tedious. And that is why sometimes when the farmers say, boy, Esther, at this way I sell it for you know, me can't really ball them down.
So this is our original Jamaican 3-foot pot.
Original Jamaican 3-foot pot. I got this from Pot World. I feel them pot still. Yeah, original. So this is what they used to boil castor oil in to show you the small amount because it's just for, you know, medicinal purposes. Yes, they do a little here, but it was more for your pain, your fibroids, and all the works. Yeah, real 3-foot pot. This pot now can hold up to 2 flasks. 2 flasks, which is about say 10-11 ounces of Jamaican black castor oil back then.
What are some of the challenges you face in this business here, from supplies to just everything?
Challenges. Supplies, you know, that is one for sure. We have to go island wide to source our seeds, and you have to be willing to sleep over in order to meet your orders. Right. So because the yield is not great, which we can get into a little bit more, but we have to gather a whole lot of seeds for it to make sense. So if we go island wide and we're not coming in with 5,000, 6,000 pounds, we know that we're going to be short. You can use a spoon now and scoop it from the mortar.
And do already.
Scoop in a pot.
So you can't chew in that pot, you know?
Yeah, man.
Any of your children seems like they want to take on this thing.
My son.
Oh, your son?
My son. Him like every aspect of the business.
What did you study in school?
I did dietetics. So it's the scientific study of foods and how it relates to, you know, the human body and diseases and so on.
Yeah, you are making sense.
But I barely say that because a cooking You have little cooking to it too. Yeah. So if I want to soothe my conscience, because I say I'm cooking. Yeah. But me love the part of it in terms of the little chemistry part when it come on to food.
Yeah.
So me still have the habit of putting on my little lab coat. All if it have a little castor oil style. Me put on my lab coat in at the end.
Yeah.
In at the end, me put on my lab coat. Me put on my lab coat, and me still love to run my little. The little chemistry part of it.
Yes.
Me nah get rid of that part there. Right. Me nah get rid of that part there. So if I ever that them for say me take out of college. Alright, so for this now, what's happening here now? We're trying to make sure say you don't have it clumping up. It's coming like just like cooking.
a porridge.
Like a porridge. Like you cook your porridge. You don't want it to clump up, you don't want the you don't want it to burn at the bottom. So you want to make sure say everything loose. We can rest a little, you know, so you store for a while and you rest a little. But if you can see the color, that is for this customer wants it a little bit lighter.
Okay.
So normally, we'll go darker with the roast, depending on what the customer wants. Right. So we can even go as clear. So it just depends on what the customer wants. So this customer wants something a little darker than honey.
Yeah.
If you look, a little darker than honey. So we just do that. So we just use timing. So we know, say, all right, if we put on 3 pounds in the roasting pot, we're going to do that for 20 minutes and take it out. So that will give us, so that we have our little ways of knowing how long to go and so, and how to maintain the standard. At the skimming part.
Okay.
So what we do, we are skim the oil from the top. Right, so this is the skimming part. So you just lightly, you don't want to carry up no water with it. See? You have water in it, of course, but you skim off the oil off of the top. And we'd have poured off most of the oil already. So this now we'll skim off the little off of the top. Let me show you now. So if you should move, see the water?
Yeah.
The brown part, so you see?
Yeah.
Right, so that's it. So
okay.
You have to take time now. It's a little skillful something too, you know? But my guys, they move faster than me. Yeah.
So when it's cool now, it starts to become thicker.
Yes.
Tell me some of the myths surrounding making castor oil.
All right. So if you watch the whole heap of myths them we surround the whole castor oil process, you know, boil most days. Because one, them say if you have sex last night, you can't boil today. So that means you wouldn't be able to produce that the next day there.
Right.
If you have bad mind, you can't boil it because oil now go come up. If you make a next man look through your kitchen or wherever you're there boiling and looking at your pot, and that the man they have bad mind,
For real.
the oil now come up.
Sure.
That are just some of them. One other one is if you're on your periods, you can't boil, so you know certain time of the month.
No,
if you not have a straight male crew when you have bad mind,
yeah,
you can't boil.
Wow.
You know? So these are some of the myths where surround the whole castor oil thing. And there are many more.
How long now have you been doing this?
On my own, around 7 years now. I've been on my own. So for around say 3 years or so, I've been buying from other people. And that is why I say start somewhere, you know. So I will buy from people who I trust. And then I will say, all right, let me just, you know, put a little profit on it, a little markup.
Yeah.
And then we'll just sell it back. And it is okay to do that.
Yeah.
And if that's where you want to stay. But sometimes the people who you're buying from, they don't have your vision. Right? So when you're saying, I want 100 gallons in a week, And that's the order, 100 gallons. Because they don't have the vision and because they're still stuck to the little granny rona back way, the little 5 gallons, the 20 gallons maybe, you'll never get to meet the demand. You'll never get to meet the demand. So you realize if you even, although manufacturing is hard, it would have been way easier if you just pick up the product and head to your buyers. It would have been easier. But I realized that I need to take control of my business. I have to have my business here. And any one of my workers them when I show up. Any one of the workers them when I show up. If they were here today, then would I tell you, castor oil boiling I go on with or without them. And me come up with a technique now where I have a roasting day. So I try not to roast and boil and skim the same day. So I can roast 50 up to 500 pounds or more. 1,000 pounds if I get an early start by myself for the entire day. So it's not so tedious to be roasting and turning around to boil. And then and next day you have a beating day, and then you can boil for a couple well days. And you're going to clarify during the day because you don't want your oil to break down. So the boiling and the clarification not so bad, but it's tedious with the beating, the roasting, and the boiling. So none of my records them can't spite me.
Yes, people, so this is the process of making black Jamaican castor oil. And me said Jamaican castor oil, I mean the granny way.
Yes.
The traditional wood fire, roast, skim, strain, the whole works. And if you have never seen it before, well, now you see it. And now you understand why castor oil is so expensive. People, they smoke a blind me eye.
Man,
The smoke a blind me eye. From me left down a country. Me not there on a wood fire. Me I tell you say right now, this bring me back to my childhood days. Piece of yam a go and roast over there so same time. Yes. Because someone say you know left in roast yam, you know. You ain't going for roast yam. So we are gonna move to this training now and then bottles.
Yes.
Alright, cool. So that's
All
the
right,
next
so
step.
you ready? What you can do is catch it. So you see how it's forming?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that is the pure oil, so now. So that's the clarification process. Taking out all the water, the moisture that will break down your oil now. Make your oil smell bad. Make it can't last for more than 7 days.
Right.
These are the important part. And now make it boil over, So we're straining now to get rid of any little excess. So it's thin, very thin.
Oh,
The
because
oil
it's hot.
hot, yes. So as soon as it cools down, you will see what's happening. No water at all is in this, based on the test that we run. Absolutely no water. You can use a t-shirt or a chiffon cloth during this time,
Like a cheesecloth.
like a cheesecloth, yes, to get rid of any excess. So you can see the little debris and something we leave back. That's from the seeds. See it right there? Right. So when that cool now, we're so ready for bottle. The finished product. So the finished product.
These are the finished product now.
Yeah, real, authentic Jamaican black castor oil.
Simple as that. No salt,
No salt, nothing.
And you use rainwater in your process.
Yeah, man, rainwater for sure. We don't know.
Well, up in our country, no pipe water there.
Yeah.
Half rainwater.
None of them then run up here.
Everything about the process pure.
Everything about the process. Everything about the process pure. And me can guarantee that. Yes.
And now me can guarantee too because I see the whole process from start to finish. Miss Esther, you know, see a long time if we do this, I will keep on put the off and put the off.
Finally.
Nothing happened for the time.
Finally, brethren, yes.
Nothing happened for the time.
Yes.
I want to thank you very much for inviting me to your place. Walk me through the process. Take your Sunday day off.
Yes.
Come, make castor oil with me. Truly appreciate it. Yes, people, so that was the process of making Jamaican black castor oil. From the seed to in your hair. You see how it yam and go burn your kai hot. Yes. So people, castor oil is good for one, it started out for your hair. You can ingest it if you have indigestion. It give you a nice go wash out. And you may or may not know that the beans directly from the tree is poison. So don't pick the seed off of the tree and eat it. It has to go through the heating process that removes the impurities and that make it safe to go down in your belly. See? So lumps, skin rashes, pain, hair loss, fibroids. You can use it on your lip. You can use it under your eye when you are going to sleep at night time. It's good all around. Get your castor oil, it's good for you.
It can be used as a moisturizer. So you use that to lock in the moisture in your hair. So you spray your water and then you use the castor oil. And you don't have to use a lot.
Right.
Another way is if you're going to wash your hair, for example, today on a Saturday and a Sunday, you put a little in your shampoo, the shampoo that you're going to use. Most of my customers, what they do, them put it in the shampoo so them don't forget to use it on a hair care day. It's good to use with other oils because you don't want to walk around smelling like castor oil. So you can use it to kind of tone it down or just on a steaming or a wash day. So you can walk with it to your hairdresser so you don't have that way down look and that heavy look in terms of when it's your hair care day. But I tend not to push that side of things so much because I'm not a doctor. Right. I always say when my customers call me, take it to a certified herbalist or to a doctor and let them sort you out. Let them tell you if you're supposed to take a teaspoon or two. So I get a lot of reviews coming from that end. So I know it works. Yeah.
Esther Dunkley, Cumberland, at the top of the hills of Clarendon, well cool, Jamaica uncut. Process of making castor oil. Until we meet again, cut out.